So everybody's been talking about wanting me to start a podcast off of this Dad's Little Warriors, and we were going through a busy season here, and I didn't really have time, but it's time. So let's do this. This will be our first episode of hopefully a long time of Dad's Little Warriors podcast, and we'll talk about a little bit of background about me, what started Dad's Little Warriors, and then we'll get into our future, what our plans are for Dad's Little Warriors, what our plans are for the podcast, a little bit of everything. So this might be a long one, so strap in. Let's go. Alright guys, welcome to Dad's Little Warriors podcast, Dad Talk. I don't know if I'm ready for this, but when the hell are you ready for anything? I wasn't ready for what happened with our daughter, so why get ready now? So my goal with this podcast is to bring awareness for dads with struggles. So let's run this thing back. Back June 15th, 2024, our second daughter was born. She was born with some unexpected complications, and we were in a hospital. I can't wait to tell that story, but that story's for another day. We'll kind of keep this where it's at for right now, and just kind of talk about what my goals are for this and why I started it, and then I'd like to get into getting other dads on the podcast. It seems like everybody wants it, so let's do it. So June 15th, 2024, our second daughter was born with unexpected complications, and I can't really go too much into detail on specifics on that, but shit, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but let's give it a shot. While we were in the hospital and going through that process of watching what I watched and witnessing what I witnessed and going through what I went through, there wasn't any support. Our daughter wasn't expected to make it. I didn't know what kind of condition my wife was in, and I was in a pretty dark place, man. There was a lot of bad shit running through my head. And while we were in there, first couple days were rough. I had no clue what was going on. I know what the doctors were telling me, and nothing was good. Sam was recovering, and I was numb, man. I was mad, and I was hurt. I felt like I was in survival mode, fighting for my family. Didn't even care about myself. I'm a fighter. I'm a dad, and that's what we do. We take care of our family, and I did what I had to do. The hospital tried to act like they were going to provide some support. I was a self-employed dude that didn't have the best insurance. So that was one thing we were worried about. I wasn't a patient at the hospital, so I would have to go outpatient for resources for therapy, and that wasn't an option for me, personally, myself. So, never really pushed forward towards any of that. But there was nobody that reached out. There was nobody that came to me and said, they would all offer help, but not directly. I couldn't even think. I was in a really bad mindset and mind state. So, I told my wife when we were in the NICU that after we pulled through from this and we got home, and no matter which way this went, I was gonna do something. I wanted to build something. I wanted had somebody comment on one of our posts the other day that said something about a movement, and that shit stuck. Yeah, that's what this is. This is a movement. This is changing the direction on which everybody thinks of dads. That we don't care, and all that. So I want to change that. I've always said in my life that I love really hard, but I hate even harder. So I've always stuck with that. It's something that kind of sticks with me, and that's the truth. That's my life. That's what I do. So it's kind of long and short of what Dad's Little Warrior started out as. We finally made it home about a month later after our daughter was born, and there was a lot of things from A to B in between that, between our daughter Lucy, our older daughter Lulu, which was like 18 months at the time when Lucy was born. Me and Sam had some things that we were going through. We had family stuff going on. We had home stuff going on. It was just a lot, and we were both just still in survival mode for our daughter and ourselves and our family. And we did things that we probably shouldn't have, said some things that we may not have meant, but at the end of the day, we were just like felt attacked from day one of when our daughter came here, and it was crazy to think. So we're gonna skip that whole part of at the hospital, kind of jump back into when we came home. So I had a diesel performance shop for about 9 years prior to all this happening. The last probably year or so, I got pretty short staffed, and I was kind of running that thing by myself. I had some help. My buddy was in there doing some office work for me part time, and while we were in the hospital, some other things happened as far as the business goes with our location, and kind of gave me that extra push to know that I had to make a move for my family and more or less care for our daughter at home. Maryland doesn't have very good resources for in-home nurses and stuff like that compared to what Delaware does. So with Lucy coming home on the NG tube, a lot of medical attention needed with her condition, which is called HIE, so it's pretty much lack of oxygen and blood flow to the brain during, before or during birth. So she does have brain damage on both sides of her brain. A lot of therapies, a lot of doctor's appointments and everything like that too. So somebody needed to take care of her all the time, and Sam's business is at home. She's a photographer. So it made the most sense for me, the blue-collar dad that's been working since he was 14 years old and worked with his hands and his head every single day, to redirect my life and stay home and take care of our daughter and make sure she's good. Biggest adjustment other than living in out of a hospital for a month I've ever had in my entire life. It was and still is very tough to do that. I've always had the utmost respect for stay-at-home moms, and said I could never be a stay-at-home dad, and here we are. But every day's different. It's crazy on the day-to-day. But yeah, long story short, I ended up shutting down my shop. Took about a month or so of me and my buddy kind of cleaning it out and getting it emptied out. Took all my 9 years of being in business to 2 storage totes in my front yard. So that was not very easy, but I did what I had to do for my family, and you know we're still doing that, and it's a struggle. Luckily, my wife has a very good established business that we're able to keep afloat. To go from two businesses with the income that we had, we built this kind of American dream life, and it's not really so much a dream anymore, unfortunately. But we're making it by. We had a lot of help mentally, physically, and financially throughout our stay in the hospital when we got home. A lot of people, you know, donated time, money to us so that we could care for our girls and didn't have to worry about that financial burden for a little while. But it doesn't take long, man. The bills keep on coming. We do have things because we worked hard, and they don't just sell. Everything's for sale. I've had everything for sale, and things don't just sell. So we're kind of stuck with some things, unfortunately. But hey guys, don't forget to go check out our apparel line. So that's kind of the branch off of this dad support thing. This is what is supporting my family, supporting the cause. It lets us do more, get involved in more. So if you can, we greatly appreciate everybody's support. Check out our hats, man. We got some pretty cool hats. Got some cool different designs and everything like that. We're always trying to come up with new stuff. We got a good line of t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve shirts, beanies, regular trucker hats. We appreciate you guys, and that just kind of pulls everything together. There's got to be some kind of little kind of money line in this thing to keep this thing rolling. So we're always trying to come up with new stuff. My wife finally talked me into doing the Moms of Little Warriors, so we're doing that. You know, support for moms. There's some really cool saying t-shirts and stuff like that on there, and hopefully in the near future we'll be able to keep on building this thing up. So we appreciate your support. That's the biggest support with this stuff is, you know, jump online, dadslittlewarriors.com, check out our apparel, and if you like something, man, snag it up. We're trying to change stuff all the time. So we appreciate you, and keep on supporting us, and we'll keep on trying to support you guys. I always say whenever anybody wears any of our apparel that I'm with you. You're not by yourself. If you're going to wear something that means something, and this stuff means something. This is definitely from the heart. Anytime I ever make any hats, t-shirts, hoodies, whatever it is, it heals a little piece of me, and hopefully that passes along in that apparel to you. So when you wear that, you're not alone. We're with you. Thank you guys.